Hey, Fit Pros, welcome back to the DTF podcast, where we turn personal trainers into fitness professionals. We are your hosts, Dayton McPherson and Kyle Radune. On today's episode, we will be talking about how to become a six-figure personal trainer, how to get those clients, how to keep those clients, and how to make people coming back to you. Good morning, Kyle. What's up, man?
Good morning, Dayton. How are we doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Excited about this episode because it's kind of the one thing everyone always asks about, right? Is how do I get more sales? How am I more successful? I want all the money. I want to be rich. And well, here's the episode to answer all your questions.
It's hard to become that rich trainer, especially at first in those first couple of months when you have zero clients. We talked about it on a couple episodes previously. You know, you go to that gym, you just got a great job, and it's like, go get your clients. And here you are thinking that you're going to start off making all this money, and then it's a grind, which we also talked about before as well. So we just want to take this episode to talk about, yes, you can get there. There are some steps that you can do in order to get to that six-figure trainer. And even though it's tough in the beginning, it's well worth it a couple months or a couple years down the road, depending on how quickly you build up. So we're going to talk about some things today, like, you know, your attitude that you have, learning from other coaches, experiences, interacting with people. So I'm excited for this episode. So we're going to get off and start with attitude, which is probably one of my favorite things to really think about with being a coach, having a good attitude. First impressions is number one. Even if you are not in a consult with anybody, that first impression that you have with a member as they walk into your doors is always the most important thing at the top of your mind. How can I interact with this person so that they have a good experience, whether or not they are your client or not?
Yeah, right. Setting the expectation, that first impression is the most important thing. If you think about kind of everything in life, we talk about first impressions when you're, your first date or, exactly. Right. You know, everything starts from that moment. So, I like to make sure that, trainers are up at, the front desk, greeting people when they walk in the door. It's a great place for when new members get toured by membership people. It's also obviously a great place to just greet your normal everyday members. Good morning. How you doing? We've talked about kind of running for mayor. This is where I'm running for mayor the most, is I'm up at that front desk, creating those great first impressions. And then, to kind of roll that right into when I do finally get an appointment, which I'm skipping ahead a little bit, the place I'm going to meet them is right up at that front desk. Welcome them into the club, get them started, get them confident, let them kind of get them comfortable, I should say. Let their guard come down, make them feel like they're at home. When we're going to get into like the sales part of that a little bit, we just want people to be comfortable. So at the end of the day, all I want out of these first impressions is for you to let your guard down as if you were coming over to my house and I was welcoming you over for dinner.
So you had mentioned the front desk, which is something a lot of coaches don't think about as prospecting. We talk about calls, emails, follow-ups, you have your consultations in your schedule. The front desk is a great place to get those consultations. The more people that walk in and when they check in, you know their first name, you ask them what they're doing for their workout, naps, which I don't think we've talked about before on the podcast, name, aim, progress, smile. So you
don't just sleep in the back corner in between clients.
No,
that's how I nap.
I used to do that, but name, aim, progress, smile. So the person's name, what are they working on today? How's that going for them? And then just give them a smile. Not every interaction that you have needs to turn into booking a consultation. What's the figure, Kyle? It takes 17 interactions with someone to build a relationship. So even just meeting them a couple of times isn't enough for them to build that trust with you and get them in your schedule for an appointment and a consult. Even if you never ask that person, hey, do you want to do a consultation or a workout with me, what have you? Eventually that person will start asking you to get into your book, how they can help you. And then you use all your skills as a fitness professional to help them. So the front desk is a huge place that I think people don't understand is a great opportunity for you to build up your business and book, even if you're just handing out towels to people, saying good morning, smiling at them.
I want to jump in there for just a quick second because you mentioned all like the little things. And this is where I like to talk about that, the emotional bank account, because every interaction you have with someone, you said it, is not about getting a sale. It's not, I don't say good morning to you so that I can follow up with, how are you today? Can I book you for a session? There's
It's so true.
it's honestly, I'm genuinely asking you how you are, and so that we can build a relationship. So back to what I was saying is the emotional bank account. I am constantly trying to deposit a little bit into your emotional bank account. So every time someone's nice to you, that goes into that bank account. And you know that if you've been on the receiving end of that compliment, it makes you feel good and it starts to build up the bank account. And the more money that you have in your bank account, and if I skip ahead to the sales part of this, when I ask for you to train with me, I ask for the sale, I'm essentially taking money out of that bank account.
Right.
And my goal is to put so much money in your emotional bank account that when I ask to have all that money back, there's enough in there for you to be like, oh, hell yeah. Here it is. Let me empty the bank account, Kyle. You've built this thing up for me.
Yeah. You're putting deposits in with those little interactions. And then when you ask for that sale or you ask for that consultation down the road, that's your withdrawal. And if you build it up enough, you're not going to go into the negative. So there's a little finance 101 for you from people that don't know jack about it. So deposits and then withdrawals down the road, keep making those deposits. And then that person will make that larger investment with you, whether it be that consult or doing some sort of personal training, small group. Maybe they got a friend that wants to come in with you. So it's all just about interacting with that person. It's not about the here and now, about give me your credit card. Do you want to train with me? I'm a really good coach. Just have that attitude of confidence and talking with people and building them up to know that you're just there for them and a friendly person. Yeah. If we can continue to talk about at the front desk and maybe communication skills as well and presentation of what you look like. So I think it's good to mention if you are at the front desk or you're in any sort of service industry that you're in front of people, make sure you're well groomed. Okay. Don't look like a hot mess. Make sure that you don't stink or smell. So if you do a workout, go take a shower, put some deodorant on. That's probably a good idea. Smile at people, look at them, make eye contact with them as well. And then that communication piece, make sure that you feel comfortable having a normal conversation with somebody. Hi, good morning. How are you? I like to call it my Dayton voice. So when I talk at my house, I sound like this. I'm a mumbler. But when I'm having interactions with people, I put on that Dayton voice. Hi, good morning. How are you? What are you working on today for your workout? Oh my gosh, it sounds so great. Do you want to know what I did for a workout today? The Dayton voice works. It's not fake. I just get excited when I have members in front of me. And it's just something that I've always kind of done. We'll talk about in a couple minutes, mirror and matching with people and all that good stuff. So I'm going to put a hold or a pin in that right now. And then let's talk about after you have that confidence and interaction with individuals out on the floor or the front desk. I want to talk about one more thing with that. Can you share your towel story? I think this is a good place to put it in for interacting with members, because Kyle always used to do this and it's the same story all the time. It's a good one to share.
It drives some people crazy. Now, I'll be honest with you. When I told this story, it was pre-COVID. So things were a little different back then. And I'd like to think that the future is back to me handing you towels. But now for a lot of gyms, especially the nicer gyms, and if you're a trainer, you want to work in the nicer gyms, let's be honest. Yeah. So they tend to have sweat towels. So I would stand up at the front desk, and our gym had sweat towels. So I stood up at the front desk and I would fold towels. And every time I would fold towels, I started noticing that the members would all actually ask me about folding towels. So I'd be folding the towels. A member would walk by and go, "Oh, look at you. Could you come over and do my laundry?" And I'll tell you, the first time I heard it,
it's so annoying.
I literally
you just want to be like, F off, man. Get away from me.
I literally would stop folding towels and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do this at the front desk anymore because I'm tired of being ridiculed by members. So I actually stopped for a little while. And what I realized was I'm out on the floor trying to get people to take off their headphones and acknowledge my existence as a personal trainer. I'm trying to have conversation with people. I can't find a way to wedge myself into that and say, interrupt them without being rude.
Right.
So then I went, wait a minute. How do I get the members to talk to me? Oh, yeah. I used to stand at the front desk and fold towels, and every single member had some smart ass comment. And at first I was a little annoyed, but I used it to my advantage. So what I learned was I went up to the front desk and I'd fold towels. And then every time someone would ask me, "Well, could you come over to my house and do laundry?" I said, "Hell yeah, I can. What's your address?"
Yep.
And, of course they get a little laugh. They didn't give me their address. That'd be weird. But, then they're like, yeah, you could come over and do laundry. And sometimes they'd turn around and they'd run away and end the conversation there. But it opened up a little way for us to communicate.
Right.
So then I would do this. And then finally I'd say, yeah, I am doing laundry. I would come over and do your laundry right after you do a workout with me. Or I would tie it into something like, we'll work out together. I'll come over. We'll do your laundry. And this joke turned into like a full-on conversation. Yes, and now we're prospecting, right?
Right.
So now it's, oh, well, what are your goals? Or what are you working on today?
Yeah.
I'll hit chest with you. Come here. Let's go hit chest.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I hate doing towels anyways. Let's be honest. So screw that. I'm coming with you. Right. And I opened the door and I was getting 2, 3, 4 leads a day just by hanging out at the front desk.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's all a numbers game. That's what a lot of people don't understand. If I make 20 contacts in a day and I can book 3 appointments from those 20 contacts, one of them is going to be my new client. So industry standard 33% on sales, just by folding towels, just by going and washing the treadmills or what have you, you sold a new client. It's not just about emails and calls. Interact with the people that are in your center that you see every single day. Those are going to be your people that will invest in you. So focus on those people that you see. We call that inside sales. They're already in the gym. We're not trying to pull people in that necessarily don't even know about us or know about you or have never seen your face. People put your name, your face, and who you are because you've interacted with them 30, 40, 50, 60 times, and they begin to trust you. That relationship builds up, and before you know it, bada bing, bada boom, realest guys in the room, got a new client.
You got it, man. I love the inside sales thing because it's something important to remind people that you can go out to 1,000 people on the street and maybe get a client. But if you go in 100 people in the gym, you'll get 30 clients because you've already kind of selected out the people that are interested in fitness. So you said it, industry standards, 33%. I like to believe any trainers that work with us are 50 to 75%. We have a much higher closing rate than your national average or whatever. But if I went to the park and I just saw 30 people running down the street and I said, hey, you need some strength training. It looked like your knees are weak. Hey, does your low back start to hurt? I can guarantee you I'm not getting any clients that way. Or maybe one because I got lucky. But really, like you're out in the park every weekend trying to find a client. Just walk into a gym, man. Yeah.
I think you talked about a couple episodes ago, like walking up to a McDonald's. And they're saying, you need to train with me. Put down that burger. See how well that goes for you. Focus on the people that are inside of your gym first and build that relationship and rapport. And I know that it will go 10 times better for you.
And that, part of me wants to be like, well, when you've went through everyone at your gym and, you're starting to outsource and kind of build your own brand outside of your gym and you want to meet people in the community, but there's so many better places than to just harass people while they're eating lunch or, there's community groups and there's park groups and there's fitness people everywhere. But if you're actually any good, by the time you get through everyone in your gym, your referrals will be off the chain and you'll never have to actually.
Right. And I'm glad that you said the word referrals because once you start to get those couple of people in your book and in your schedule, please, personal trainers, fit pros out there, ask for referrals. You have to ask over and over and over again. It's not just one time. It's not 10 times. It's not 20 times. You can ask your clients, my schedule's opening up a little bit. Do you have any friends or family members that you'd like to invite in for a complimentary workout with me? And if you have that relationship with those people, they will say yes, and they will bring you people. So, for those of you that don't know, my gym is a studio. We have 0 members. We just have personal training clients. We don't do a heck of a lot of outside marketing. We don't do direct mail. We don't do much on TV. We might do social media here and there. All the clients that we get every single month or week, they're all referrals. And that's very similar to like CrossFit boxes, small studios, refer. If they have a good experience, you've built that relationship up with people. We're to the point where we don't even have to ask. It's like, hey, my daughter wants to train with you. Hey, this person wants to train with you. Awesome. Bring them in. Free marketing, all because we built relationships with people and we have that confidence.
And that's something I didn't even put together right away. Even when we were running our personal training university and educating clients, we had a whole section on referrals. And Dayton, you were way better at getting referrals. I didn't really piece this together until I left the corporate gym world and started training out of a private studio in my own place because
Tough.
I had 6, 7 clients. I no longer had hundreds of people walking in and out of the door. I had to get kind of creative with building my business now. And it's so stupid. We talked about referrals forever. And within 30, 60 days, I almost tripled my clients because I actually went to each one and sat them down and said, listen, I'm building this brand. I really need your help. If you can find me a client, I'll give you $100 off. I'll give your friend $100 off. And next thing I knew, I had tripled my sales and I had a full book of business, and I only really had my 7 clients to turn into 21 clients.
So I'll give you a good story, and I'll refrain from using this individual's name. So one of our members, she posted a picture of our new gym, the expansion that we just had, onto Facebook for the community page around our area, and said, this is a great gym. They've got great clients. And we did not ask her to do that. It was just something that she chose to do. Within a couple hours, there were 30 different people that had liked it or commented on it. So I went on, introduced myself to everybody that was on there, invited everybody in for a complimentary workout. And then on Friday, 2 of those people came in, signed up for a membership, booked them for consultations. It required no effort on my part. And thank you. I know that she listens to this. Appreciate you doing that. You didn't have to do that. But good experiences make people share good experiences with other people.
Absolutely.
All right. So moving on, we talk about, how to have good experiences, interact with people. Let's talk about learning. Okay. This is very important for me. Finding someone that you can lean on in your gym, whether it be a mentor, other personal trainers, other fitness leaders. Those people are going to help bring you up. So what you want to learn from those people is how they built their book. How did they get all of those clients? What's their training style? So I can think about the 2 gyms that I've worked at. I had a personal trainer who was my mentor. He actually now works for Health Tracks, which is awesome. And then my mentor for Health Tracks, Matt Wright, who we've talked about before. Without his help, I never would have been able to build up my book of business whatsoever. So find somebody that believes in you, is going to help you, can teach you. Can they teach you sales positions? Can they teach you how to retain clients? So just find that person that's going to be there for you and build you up.
So I add a little to that too. So actually, we talk about the 3M rule a lot of times, is the 3 mentors. So you want one that's above you, one that's going through the journey with you, and then when possible, finding a new person to bring up, because what we'll learn is that when you teach someone, you actually better retain the information and get better at it yourself. So those are kind of the 3 directions I like to go with the mentorship. And the reason why, especially when we think about having a mentor, I know we talk about education, learn this, learn that, but what a lot of what comes from the mentorship is learning from their experiences and kind of getting the wisdom, and less about the knowledge of fitness. So what I mean by that is you're going to encounter many different types of clients, and it's very helpful to know when you come across a certain injury or someone that's really obese, that there's certain exercises, certain ways to coach exercises that are more comfortable or uncomfortable for a client. We try to make that perfect experience. So part of the experience is, being successful with teaching the right exercises at the right times. And I think the wisdom of being able to look at someone move and choosing the right things to do with them comes from not just a textbook. It comes from experience. And the only way to get experience without actually fumbling with it yourself is going with your mentor and learning, which is what I would consider a wisdom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think when we read all those books, CPT books, about here's what you program for people, here's what you do, I can say confidently that 10 years ago, when I wrote my first program for my very first client, it looks very different and probably horrible compared to what I do now, because I just learned, and getting the experience helps out 10 times more than any article that you can read, or just even speaking to someone. You get better with practice, retaining, selling, how to interact with people, making sure that you build those relationships. So just practice. How you are going to be right now is different than how you'll be 3 months down the road, 3 years down the road. And you just have to take that jump, take that dive right in. And that will be very, very helpful.
So part of learning, right, is when you get into personal training, you don't have 40 hours of a book, right? But if your goal is to be a full-time trainer, I recommend you carving out 40 hours of your week right away. And if you only have 2 hours of clients and 2 hours of meetings, well, guess what? That's 4 hours. You have 36 hours to learn, to find clients, to do all those things, right? So what I want you to do is grab that mentor, follow them around, watch them do consults, watch them interact with their clients. When you build up these relationships, sometimes the mentor will actually let you train their clients for them. So it's a pretty good gig. If you've been with someone a long time, and I know my client trusts me and says, hey, I'll let that guy train me, no problem. And I just stand back and I watch, and it allows that trainer to get a little experience with that client. And so these are like really invaluable tools that you can use to get better at your craft. But really be in the gym and sit there and just listen. I don't necessarily love having people in the consults because sometimes the two trainers can make it a little uncomfortable. But sit outside the room and just take notes. You can listen to 2-3 different consults going on at once if you got a busy gym. Those are how you're going to get your reps in. So live in the gym, watch, learn, and then practice. You know, if you can grab another trainer to then role play those situations, ask about the, hey, when they said this, you said this, and you know.
So when I bring on somebody new coach, the amount of shadowing that they do may seem excessive to some people, but I feel it's invaluable. They will shadow each of my trainers for 3 to 5 hours in personal training sessions, just hanging out, getting to know people, getting to know this personal trainer's training style, what their ideologies are. So they do that for all of the staff, 3 to 5 hours. Doesn't have to be in the same day, obviously, but you know, you're going to go hang out with Sally this day. And then the next day you're going to hang out with Tony and Kevin, whoever that it might be. They will also go through 10 hours of just sales training personally with me before they go to our workshop. So we'll go through what that consultation looks like. I'll be the trainer, you be my client. We'll do it again and we'll have a different scenario. Then I want you to do it to me. And then we'll talk about what went right, what went wrong, how to adjust it. And we'll do that until they feel confident. And like Kyle said, having 2 people in the room sometimes during a consult is really tough. So I do the same thing as Kyle. I just advise them to sit out of the room, listen, take notes, and then directly after, if they have an opportunity, either come to me about what they saw in the experience, how that they would have handled any objections, and then also have a conversation with that coach who did the consultation. What went right for you? How could it have been better? You know, how did you overcome this objection? Just continuously having those conversations with people is going to make you a better coach so that you can learn how to do it and then take those things and practice.
Because what you'll learn, the more and more reps you get in, is that you'll actually hear all the same things over and over.
And over.
You'll pitch personal training thousands of times, and you're going to hear, I think we've pretty much whittled it down to 5 major categories. So out of those thousands, you only have to come up with 5 objections. And I'm going to put you on the spot here, Dayton. Do you know what those 5 are?
Ooh, okay.
Money,
all right. Money, time,
spouse,
commitment, and try it on my own.
Bam. You are a rock star.
Yeah.
that was not in our notes, y'all. I just was
he
out there.
Threw that one up and I smacked it out of the park.
Knocked it right out of the park.
You're getting me ready.
Those are the 5.
Yeah, that's it.
And if you can overcome those 5, you will close all your clients.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
And we will talk about how to overcome those in a later episode. We're not going to dive into it. We're probably going to do a 3-part episode on our consultations and how to get clients. And that'll probably be the end of part 3. So it's not like we're just telling you those and being like, good luck. We will talk about it very, very soon. So stay with us for a couple of those episodes.
Yeah, we could probably do a 5-part series on each one. Honestly,
oh my God, I could do a whole podcast on that.
So these first episodes, we've stuck to a little more general so people can get some good information out of the first couple months of listening to us. But we've got a lot of really specific episodes coming up.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
So the last couple things I wanted to talk about with this episode is definitely communication. And again, this is part of the consult episodes that we'll do. So pieces that I want everybody to think about with communicating with people is mirror and matching, which is just kind of identifying the personality of the person and making sure that you understand the way that they look and you want to kind of give that back to them. So for instance, if someone is sitting in front of you and their arms are crossed, they're very, very standoffish. You wouldn't be leaning in front of them being a close talker because they don't like that. If someone's smiling, interacting, and their arms aren't crossed, you can be a little bit more bubbly. If they're loud, you can be loud, and they're all crazy, hands up. Oh my God, da, da, da. Okay. So we're just trying to match the energy of the person when we're talking to them. Use certain terms like we, us, together. This is, something in which we're working together on. It's a partnership. So we, us, together. I want to make sure that when we go into training sessions, we know why we're doing certain things. We're going to do this because of X, Y, and Z. And here's what's going to come after that so that they understand where your program is going. I also say things like, as your fitness professional, as your personal trainer, even if they're not working with me, because I'm still your personal trainer. If we're sitting there and talking at the front desk, like I work in this building, I'm everybody's personal trainer. No matter when that might be, if it was 10 years ago, if it's 5 years in the future, I'm your personal trainer.
And this is you planting that seed in their head that they have a personal trainer, even though they don't actually have a personal trainer.
Absolutely. So, and then during that consult, if we kind of jump ahead a little bit, making sure you know what the heartstring of the person is, why they're really in front of you. It's not just that I want to lose weight. If you can dig deep and not wide and find the reason why they're actually in front of you, and we'll tell you how to do that in a couple of episodes from now. And then when
actually, if we don't mean to interrupt you there, but
sure, if you want to talk about it,
the dig deep, not wide. I think it's so important that I don't want to just gloss over it, because what you said there is like every single person comes into the gym and they want to lose weight. Right. Everyone says, I want to lose weight, or my arm jiggles, or the under thing in my arm when I wave at people, the hello, goodbye. I've had all the old ladies give me so many funny things for that. Yeah. But the truth is they didn't come to you for any of those goals. And if you stop and say, okay, you're here for weight loss, next question, you will not sign up any clients. Because when we talk about the heartstring, we're trying to pull out an emotion. And when people are emotional about something, they're not going to quit. They're not going to, skip over it. So what we're looking for is, I'm not looking for the 5-pound weight loss. I'm looking for the fact that you are self-conscious because your husband no longer looks at you the same way. And you feel like you can't, go out and socialize with your friends, or there are things that pull on your heartstrings that will fundamentally change your life by being healthier. And that's what we want to do. Because if I can get you to look me in the eyes and say, Coach Kyle, you're right. I am here for a little more. Okay, well, what could I really do to help you? I want to feel good about myself because I don't feel confident in my own skin. And I'm very uncomfortable at home with XYZ. So when we can get people to open up like that, when I come back around on the sales portion and say, hey, I know I can help you with XYZ, the emotion and that attachment, it is very hard to look at someone and go, I don't really want that. Cool. I'm not interested in training.
You already told me you wanted that before.
Yeah. And you almost cried when you did it. So guess what? We're not going to even have that debate because you're so into it. And of course that can be a whole hour episode, but the phrase dig deep, not wide is such a heavy thing that I think a lot of people maybe don't understand.
Yeah. And everybody always thinks in consultations, the last 10 minutes are the hardest when you pitch the program or you try to sell, when it's probably it is the first 45 minutes that are way more important than the last 15 telling somebody they're going to invest this amount of money with you. Because if you did the first 45 minutes right and you were able to find that heartstring, and during the appointment you repeated and remind them of the reason that they were there, not that they wanted to lose weight, but this is going to help you get more confidence. Don't you feel good when you do this stuff? Don't you feel accomplished at the end of this workout? Well, we have to keep doing this for months and months and months. And if you build up that with them, when it comes to the last 5 or 10 minutes and be like, and this is my professional recommendation of how often that you and I should be seeing one another. Here's what you're going to do on your off days. We're going to build the program that's going to work best for you. This is what the investment is. If you did all of that stuff right, that last little bit, they'll be handing you their yes without even telling them what the price is. So going through that, and we'll dive deeper into this. Yeah, we'll dig deep, not wide, on how to do consultations in the next couple of weeks. But, that's the biggest thing, is when I do our workshop, that everybody's like, oh, I need to learn how to sell. Well, selling is not just asking for how much something costs. Yep. It's the before that's way more important.
We mentioned the 5 big objections, and we said it's important to overcome objections and have that episode on overcoming objections. But if you do your job right, you don't have to overcome objections. Because those objections, there is no objection.
Yeah.
It's, I need this because I want this for this, right?
I overcame the objections before they even came up.
Exactly. So we can dive a lot deeper into that.
No pun intended.
Dig deep, not wide, into that topic.
I know.
So, basically, those are the major categories. Did you want to add something there?
So I did want to say a couple other things before we can wrap this episode up, is following up and following through. So if you go through a consultation, the person says no, that no does not mean that person just becomes dead to you, which I think a lot of coaches realize that, oh, they don't want to work with me, I'm never going to talk to them again. A no today is not a no forever. So following up with these people, hey, how did you feel after our last workout together? How many times have you been in here these last couple of weeks? I know that you said that motivation was a big issue for you, and consistency. Well, I haven't come in since our last appointment. Oh man, that was 2 weeks ago. Well, what's going on? Oh, I just haven't really felt like it. And you can start to unravel again those dig deep, not wides, and find that heartstring once again. It doesn't have to be in a consultation. So following up with people. And then also, if you promise something to one of your clients or members, following through with what you promised. If you told somebody that you can help them get stronger and lose weight, and you put them back on whatever you use for a measuring stick, whether it be an InBody or a StyQ or, just calipers, they haven't lost a pound, they haven't gained strength. Well, it's your responsibility as a coach to follow through with your promise, even if it's having conversations with them about nutrition and what they're doing outside of here, alcohol consumption, food consumption, whatever that it might be, sleep. So make sure that you follow through with your promise with people. The last thing that's way off topic from that is, I always recommend to people, don't be a one-trick pony. So as personal trainers, don't just be a personal trainer. What I mean by that is, if you're in a large box gym, even if you're in a CrossFit box and you just do personal training, or you just do classes, it's okay to then have multiple products of your brand. You could do nutrition seminars. You could do demos. You can go and coach small group training. You can host flexibility classes. You can talk about all of these different things with people to build up just the book of clients that you may have and how many contacts that you do. So just because you became a personal trainer doesn't mean that you just have to do that. Like when I started, I was doing, consults, obviously, one-on-one personal training, partner coaching, small group training. I would do all the demos all the time. We would have tables of all our nutritional products that we have, and I'd be handing out bars to people, talking to them about protein supplements. And here's what you do. I was the one standing at the front desk. I would go and clean something if something looked dirty. I wanted to do it all because I knew that that would give me a step up with the rest of the coaches. I've always wanted to be the best. And that's what helped me become the best. I want to be number one.
You are number one, Dayton.
Thank you.
There's only one area of the gym that you didn't touch on, and I'm going to call you out on this because
I was waiting for you, because this is your forte, not mine.
Oh, come on, Dayton. So the only place Dayton doesn't go in his facilities are the group exercise department.
Makes me nervous.
I get it. A room full of ladies doing Zumba. At first I was a little turned off by that too. It was scary.
Oh, I would kill it in a Zumba class as an instructor.
Here, I'm going to challenge you. All right, here.
You want me to go teach Zumba?
I want you to go get a Zumba certification. No, in all seriousness, I got my like a kickboxing certification through Mosa Fight, if anyone's familiar. I went in and I started teaching these classes at, the whole $20 for a class. It's a lot of work, but every time I went up on stage, I was in front of 20 to 30 people and I got to show off my personality and who I was in front of the room. And then afterwards, there was a dozen people that wanted to talk to me. I did this 2-3 times a week for years, and it drove all of my business for me.
Yeah.
So don't leave out your Group X department.
Yeah, definitely not. And I didn't mean to. I'm not a hater of Group X. I'm just so nervous. But one thing that I did do when I was starting to do small group is I would stand outside after they got done their classes and hand them all small group passes for free.
There you go.
So well, I did hit on it a little bit, but standing up in front of a large thing and being coordinated like that, even though I'm a good dancer, I don't know how Zumba would go for me. So
I'm a bad dancer, but apparently I'm really good at learning choreography.
There we go.
Just like if you tell me what to do, I can do it. I just can't dance.
See, I'm more of an on the fly dancer. So if you want me to do something, I just want to
just shake it.
Yeah, shake it.
All right.
So
with that
would just shake it. That's a good way to end this episode. Oh my gosh. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add before we sign off?
No, that's plenty good.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. This has been the DTF podcast, Down to Fitness with Dayton McPherson and Kyle Radune. Thank you for stopping in for this episode, How to Become a Six-Figure Trainer. We look forward to having you come on with us next week. Next week's episode is How to Exercise Program 101.
Ooh, that's my favorite.
Yeah. So we look forward to having that one come out in a week. So make sure that you stay with us. We appreciate everybody for listening. Have a great day.
See ya.